Alright, shit. Hey guys, what's up? Joe. Morning, cheers. Alright, gonna make this video quick because I'm actually in the middle of editing a video for Paul, right? When it comes to editing, pretty much, obviously, depending on how you edit, there's gonna be a lot of like repetition, right? Like the way how you start in the sense of importing your footage, doing your rough cut, then like pretty much doing everything else in between in the sense like, make sure the cuts are nice and smooth and all that stuff, right? So there is a process that after a while becomes repetitive, right? And the key word here is repetition. If there's something that you kind of notice that you start doing repeatedly, like over and over again, that is the right time for you to start like looking into like the possibilities of creating a macro to help you save some time, right? So what I'm doing right now is basically I went through all the timeline right now and I'm pretty much cutting out all the gaps, like the pauses where he like stops and thinks what he's about to say and so on. So to give you an example, here's the part where he's connecting the power cable for the GPU.
Finally, we are going to plug in the supplemental PCI Express graphics power to the graphics card like this.
All right, I want to focus more on the timeline, but I just want to show you the clip, right? So he's connecting that power supply and then he like stops.
There it is.
So you can see there's a big gap right here where pretty much just either he like connects it, he does something, adjusts the camera or whatever. So there's a pause right in the audio. So the way I've set up my computer or my shortcuts is basically I can jump the timeline to where the mouse is at by hitting shift and spacebar. So pretty much that's a shortcut that I use so I can like jump the timeline, the playhead to wherever my mouse pointer is at. You can actually go to your keyboard shortcuts and be like, just type in, move playhead to cursor, right? So that's pretty much what I look into. We do your shortcuts, right? And as you can see here, I have it set up to shift and space, right? Shift plus space. So you guys can like, mess with that, depending how you want to edit. But for me, since I usually have my hand as if I'm playing video games, I got my pinky on the shift button and also have my thumb on the space bar. So pretty much it just became easy for me to do it that way, right? So, however, the thing is, like, when I edit, I usually try to do a rough cut first, which in this case,
or to the graphics card like this. There it is.
So then I'll stop with my mouse and make a cut where the playhead is at. Again, you can look that up in the shortcut menu. I'll do again the move playhead to my cursor. So my keyboard, on my letter Q, I have it set to ripple trim to previous edit. So where the playhead is at, it's going to move this entire section back to here where the edit's at. So by hitting Q, there you go. So pretty much it cut out the whole gap, right? After a while me doing that, the jumping around and the clicking, it does kind of like get tiring on your hand, right? I'm starting to notice that. So since I already know the process in the sense of like the shortcut commands of what to do with my hands, I'm able to pretty much record it into my macros, right? Using my Rocket Nyth mouse. So in my Swarm software, you got your button assignments here on the side, right? I already got like pretty much them ready to go, so I kind of want to leave these guys alone. However, on the top section of my mouse, I do have some available buttons on the top where I'm able to like create my macros, right? So I was thinking, all right, one thing I do not use when I'm editing is basically the universal scrolling, right? When you push down on the mouse wheel. Not real much function for it in the sense of like editing in Premiere Pro. So since in my Rocket Swarm I have my different profiles, so I'm gonna create a different use for this for my mouse wheel when I press down on it, right? So as you can see, it says universal scrolling. I'm gonna disable this and I'm gonna create my macro so I can like be able to trim do a rough cut trim like a lot easier instead of me doing it all manually, right? Usually I write it down, but I'm pretty sure I can memorize this. So I'm gonna do my shortcut to like jump, playhead to cursor. I'm gonna cut. Gonna jump playhead to cursor again, and then I'm gonna do the ripple trim to previous edit. Boom. So that process is just it. I'm gonna create a macro for, right? That way, instead of me doing manually, the software could do it for me. So I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna go to my macro folder for Premiere Pro. Here we go. Gonna create a new macro. Let's just say rough edit, because that's basically what I'm doing, rough edit cuts. So everything I just showed you, I'm gonna record it here. So I'm gonna hit start recording. I'm gonna do my shortcut for move the playhead to my cursor. I'm going to do the shortcut to make a cut where the playhead is at. I'm going to add another shortcut, move the playhead to the cursor again. Then I can do my ripple trim. Stop recording. Now here's another cool thing about this software is basically, this may not make much sense to you because, I'm using my own shortcuts, but I can insert a delay. Actually, I don't want it there. I can remove that. I want it before my shift space command, insert delay. And there you go, right? 2 milliseconds. For 1,000 milliseconds, it equals 1 regular second, right? So 1,000 milliseconds equals 1 second. In that case, let's just say 3,000 milliseconds, right? That will give me 3 seconds. Might be a lot, but let's just try it out for now. I hit OK. I'm gonna go to my to my mouse wheel, go to assign macro. Let's see, Premiere Pro, and rough edit cuts, right? I'm gonna hit apply. So now if again, I'm not using anything else besides my mouse wheel, right? I'm gonna press it down here. It should make a cut. Give me a sec. Poof. All right, there you go. Can undo that really quick. So that was kind of like a long pause, right? But pretty much, obviously, I wanted to make my cut and wanted to give myself some time so I can move my cursor before the timeline jumps over to where my cursor is at, right? So I'm able to go back to my macro manager, my Rocket Swarm. I'm going to be showing you all of this because I just want to show how easy it is to pretty much adjust your macros, right? And this time I'm going to do 1 second. Hit OK. Apply. Click. Click.
Chain, if there was a, and this has another daisy chain coming off of it. So if you had a
cool. So now like let me undo this. So now instead of me being like do my shortcut here, make a cut, make a shortcut here, do a trim, like pretty much now I have it all automated pretty much on my my macro for my mouse, right? So I just push here with the mouse, boom, it does it all for me, right? So that's our ways that you can like save some time for yourself. If there's something you're doing repeatedly enough, if you're able to like automate that repetition inside a macro, it'll save you a lot of time, right? Cut, 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 and pretty much you can just go back and do my fine tuning, right? So yeah, actually, I'm glad I did this. So yeah, so anything that you do repeatedly, repetitive or whatever, try to figure out a way to create a macro for that. That way you don't have to like do it all the time, right? It'll save you a lot of time, and also like because after a while doing that with my hands, it does hurt, right? So now I'm able to like just look for an area where there's like a gap, say like here.
Overconfidence will be your something wrong that you'll need to fix. That said, it is now time.
So I like click, move my mouse, click. There you go, done.
That you'll need to fix. That said,
so it's a good rough cut, way of doing things with the macro. So, anyways, that's all I got for you. Hope it helps. Take care and peace. I need to go back to work.